Alright. Hi everybody, this is Dawson. I'm back with another movie review for you today. And sorry I haven't made a video in quite some time. I've been busy with other stuff. Give me 1 second. Sorry, I gotta turn my lamp on. It's storming in my area, so that's why it's dark. But I am back with a movie review for you today. And today I'm going to be reviewing the 2024 American sci-fi space opera film Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scargiver, which is a direct sequel to Part 1, A Children of Fire, released last year in 2023. And the film is directed once again by Zack Snyder, who directed the first one. And the film stars Anthony Hopkins, Carrie Ellis, Stuart Martin, Ray Fisher, and a bunch of other people. And the basic plot of Rebel Moon Part 2, according to the internet, is as follows. The film takes place on the moon of Valent, probably butchered that name, where Cora and the crew of warriors ventures to help the farmers defend and fight for their home against the mother world. And that is your basic plot of Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scargiver. Well, Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scargiver. You know, when I first saw Rebel Moon Part 1, A Child of Fire, back last year, I didn't really care for it. In fact, a lot of people didn't care for it. It got pretty negative reviews. Most critics liked it. We're apparently supposed to get an R-rated cut sometime this year. Hopefully it's better. We're supposed to get an R-rated cut of Part 2 of this one, too, sometime this year. But, yeah, I don't think Zack Snyder is going to be making a Part 3, because Part 1 didn't do so good. Part 2 didn't do so good. We'll get into that later, or in a second. But Part 1, I really did not like. In fact, I thought it was one of the worst movies of 2023 so far, or that we've gotten. And Rebel Moon Part 2, well, it's the same thing as Part 1. It's not very good. However, it is a small improvement over the first one. I will say that. It is a big improvement over the first one. But this is still not a good movie. This is a pretty terrible movie. In fact, I will be shocked if we ever get a Part 3. I will be shocked if Zack Snyder makes this movie into 4 parts. Zack Snyder, I've got major respect for the guy. I mean, he's done some pretty great movies. He's done Dawn of the Dead, the Dawn of the Dead remake. He's done Army of the Dead. I like Army of Thieves, the sequel to that movie. I like Zack Snyder's Justice League. I like Man of Steel. Even though people don't like this one, even though people don't like it, I love it. I like the R-rated cut. I like Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice, the R-rated cut. Sucker Punch. I like that movie. That's a pretty good movie. 300 I really like. Watchmen is a good one. So I've got total respect for Zack Snyder. I think Zack Snyder is a wonderful director most of the time. When he does good stuff, when he does good things. But Rebel Moon, I don't know what the hell happened with this movie, with its predecessor. But this movie was just not very good at all. However, it is a big improvement over the first one, I will say that. I'm not going to say that this movie ends on a cliffhanger. All I'm going to say is that most of the cast of this movie is good. You basically get the same people from the first movie reprising their role in this movie. Like Anthony Hopkins reprises his role from the first one. Carrie Ellis reprises his role. Stuart Martin reprises his role from the first one. You have stars Narg, probably butchered that name. You have Ed Skrein. You have Dijon Hugen as Titus. Sophia Buditella as Cora. She's fine in this movie, as what she has to do. Charlotte Maggie as Sam, she's good. She's the farmer in this movie. Anthony Hopkins, I've already mentioned Anthony Hopkins. Any other positives I have to say with this movie? Look, Zack Snyder, like I said, I have respect for Zack Snyder. I love the majority of Zack Snyder's movies. But Rebel Moon Part 1 and 2, I don't like. And I'm not the first person to say that. Many people did not like this movie. Many critics did not like Part 1. I don't know why Zack Snyder decided to make Part 2. Probably because Part 1 ended on a cliffhanger. And Part 2 opens with Part 2 actually shows what happened at the ending of the first one. But I don't know. I don't really know what to say about this movie. The action scenes in this movie when the action scenes in this movie they're fine. Some of them are great. The visual effects in this movie are great. The cinematography by Zack Snyder is great. Zack Snyder's direction of the film is great. Or good, not great, but good. So Zack Snyder, I do appreciate what he was trying to do with this movie, but I don't think he needs to make a part 3. I don't think he needs to make a part 4. It clearly looks like he's not going to. Yeah. And if you didn't notice, if you've seen the first movie and this one, this movie was going to start out as a Star Wars movie that Zack Snyder was going to pitch for Disney and then Lucasfilm. But until Lucasfilm, this movie was going to be a Star Wars movie that Zack Snyder was going to pitch to Lucasfilm, but then when Lucasfilm, as you know, in 2012, they got sold to Disney, and the pitch was to be a more major take on the Star Wars universe. So this movie was going to be a Star Wars movie, but, you know, with what happened in 2012 with Disney owning the rights to Lucasfilm, that idea was scrapped. So, I mean, I don't know what else to say with this movie. According to Zack Snyder, this movie. I don't think Zack Snyder needs to make a third one. Apparently, he's considering making a third one. He's considering making six parts to this movie. Look, Zack Snyder, if part 1 and 2 didn't do so good, part 3, you probably don't need to make a part 3, because part 3 is not going to do good if you make a part 3. So, I don't know. Hopefully when the R-rated cut comes out, it will be better than this one. I kind of prefer this movie to be rated R, but it's PG-13 like the first one. But I don't know. But we are getting an R-rated extended cut, so maybe when that one comes out, maybe I'll review it. But yeah. Anyway, this is just a total mess. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know. So on a scale of 1 to 4 stars, this movie's terrible. It's terrible. It's a really terrible movie. So on a scale of 1 to 4 stars, I'm going to give Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scargiver, a 1 out of 4 stars. And if I had to grade Part 1, I'm going to give Part 1 a 1 out of 4 stars as well. Again, got the best respect for you, Zack Snyder, but you just need to stick to something else that you're good at. Anyway, that's my review of Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scargiver. Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of this movie, if you guys checked it out, if you guys liked it. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you not like it? Let me know if you liked it. If you did like it, if you did like it, please tell me why you enjoyed this movie. But if you liked this movie, that's fine. And if you liked Part 1, that's fine. I'm happy for you. But I didn't. I thought Part 1 was a piece of crap, and Part 2 is no exception. Anyway, yep, but that's all. That's my review of Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scargiver. So, this is Dawson. Thank you so very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe down below. And I'll see you next time on another movie review. Y'all take care.